Okay, so you're starting on your good paper and you want to lay out your horizon line and your vanishing point or points, because you have a choice on your handout project that I went over, being that you could do this in 1 point or you could do this in a 2-point drawing. Whatever you kind of caught on to the best, I'm totally fine with. So there is your choice. Now, let me show you some benefits. Okay, so what you're seeing here is us putting the horizon line not in the middle of the paper, okay? So far, all of our draw-alongs that we've done together for learning purposes only has been to put the horizon line in the middle of the paper with the vanishing point dead center. Okay, that's the only reason we did it, so that we were all learning the exact same thing and it wouldn't confuse some people. Okay, now what I'm asking is that you either lower or raise the horizon line based on what kind of view you would like to have for your picture. So this example here shows that a lower vanishing point, one that's further down in the paper, is going to show more height of the buildings. There's going to be a lot less street room, as you can see down here. So there's not as much room to put things on the street level. You can still put your sidewalk and stuff like that, but there's less there. But you have more height for buildings and windows and things. So that's one point of view that you could take, is to lower your horizon line so that you have more height above for really tall buildings. Okay? The opposite view would be to raise your horizon line. Okay? The higher it goes on your page, all right, the more ground you have. So you could do more here. You could maybe do a crosswalk from here to here. You'd have lines you could put down the middle of your street. You could put a crosswalk here. You could put more lines there. So there's more room, I guess, to kind of make streets turn, right? Because you have more street room, and then your buildings could still be tall. You could still take them off the top of your building. That's not a problem. But in this view, you have more ground space to do more extra streets and things if you would like to do that. Now, something that you may have noticed about these two images, aside the fact that the horizon line is higher or lower in the picture, is that the vanishing point is not in the center of the page, all right? So when you go to create this drawing, I'm asking that you bring the horizon line maybe a little or a lot to the left or to the right of the picture, okay, to give more of an elongated room to one side of the road, maybe more than the other. Okay, so here's this one off to the right there. Notice how this one was a little bit more to the left, correct? Okay, so I'm asking that you move your horizon line up or down, and you need to move that one vanishing point. And again, this point move is really for the 1 point folks, okay? The horizon move is for everybody. Okay, so let's talk 2 point. So if you're thinking 2 point, let's talk into the 2 point world. Okay, so what tends to happen with 2 points is if you put your vanishing points at the very edge of our nice long paper, okay, what is going to happen is this. When you start to draw something, say you have a building over here, okay, and we're taking this over here to this side, zippity-doo-dah, we're taking this down here, okay, and it's going off. And then we go down to here, okay, here's what tends to happen. At some point, you want this building to go way far down the street. That's great, that's no problem. But look what happens. It scrunches really small. And then when you start to draw, say, a door, okay, and you're drawing that down to that vanishing point, these are verticals, all right? When you draw that door or that window, okay, it's gonna feel really scrunched. That's sort of the best way to put it. The closer we get to the vanishing point, the more things shrink and get scrunchy. And the diagonals, people start to question themselves whether they did it right or not. All right, so here is a plan for helping that, okay? The big plan is add a piece of paper. It could be a scrap piece of paper. I just took and tore off some of this school lined paper, and I'm going to take a little bit of masking tape, or Scotch tape in it. This is Scotch tape. I'm so used to using masking tape in the school. All right, so we're gonna take a little bit of Scotch tape, and we're gonna hold that on there, and I'm gonna flip it over and see how it's extending. I'm at the same level that our horizon line is. So I'm gonna keep the horizon line going, okay? So there's my horizon line, it keeps going. And instead of keeping the dot on the paper where everything looks scrunched, okay, let's ignore this right now, and let's ignore him, and say I move it out here further. Okay, here's what that building could look like by leaving the vanishing point off the page. Looky, looky. Okay, the building didn't scrunch, did it? It stayed bigger. Look how much bigger it is. So that when I draw a door, and I'm coming from my vanishing point, things don't feel like they're so stretched and cockeyed and crooked in their angles. It makes the picture feel bigger for longer. So if you were choosing a 2-point vanishing point for your idea for your drawing, you want to draw things from their corner view. Totally cool with that. But what I'm going to ask is that you take at least one piece of paper and add it to your horizon line to keep the horizon line and the vanishing point going off the edge of the paper. If you want to do that on both sides, then put another little piece of paper behind here. Keep this going, put your vanishing point further out, okay? And you can keep this side from getting too scrunched right here. It's just that you're going to be working with 2 vanishing points, and I'm going to encourage that you take at least one of them, if not both, off your page onto this little scrap piece of paper, okay? When you're all done, you can take that little scrap piece of paper off, okay, and finish up the drawing by outlining with the Sharpies like we had talked about in the instructions, okay? But adding that piece of paper is going to keep your drawing bigger, longer, instead of getting icky small right down at the vanishing point.